the heart of the south of Johannesburg nestles a gem not many people are aware of. It's a home with a difference. Look Forward Creativity Centre is home to 28 children from a very young age to 20 years old. In the centre, now consisting of 4 houses, they are cared for and loved regardless of colour or culture. The heart and soul behind this project, celebrating its 10th birthday this year, is Mummy Beatrice, as she is fondly called by everyone around her. From a very young age, she knew that God was calling her into His service. But at the time, she thought the calling was to pray.
When I was young, 16 years, I wanted to become a Carmelite sister. A Carmelite sister is a sister who lives in the convent, and your duty or your calling is only for praying for the world, praying for the church, praying for everybody. I went in the convent for 1 year. My father, as a businessman, he was not comfortable. As a firstborn in the family, he asked me, there's nothing else.
Mummy Beatrice decided to wait a bit before making a final decision. She went to university, obtained a degree in marketing, started working, but never ever stopped praying to find God's will for her life.
Then I remember it was in her house, 2 brothers, me and 1 cousin, and we was sleeping in her bed. She was sleeping in the ground. I didn't understand. Every midnight, she wake me up. She said, let's pray. I said, it's cold. It's winter. This one, I think something is not good for her. Why can she pray midnight? Every midnight she pray until 1:30. Oh. I said, why do you not sleep in the bed? She said, no. I know I'm asking God for the direction.
Mummy Beatrice became a minister for Eucharist, but still, it didn't feel right. She continued to pray to find God's will, and what became clear to her is that even though she still didn't know what her calling was, she knew she wasn't destined to get married.
I called my father. I told him, I said, okay, I still have that desire not to get married. I don't think married is for me. And I remember my father cried. He said, I am sorry. I told him, don't be sorry. Maybe it was not time for that time. Maybe God's still preparing me for something else.
I know people that was wanting to marry her, she refused. Because I was like an auntie, big sister for her. But I said, but you just live the life like this. She said, yes. Me, I don't want anything. The family, everybody was cross. Everybody was cross.
Both family and friends thought Mummy Beatrice might be on the wrong path, but she kept looking for the will of God. She became actively involved with the Salvation Army while she was working in the corporate world, and discovered that the deaths of orphaned and sick children upset her to her core.
And I was so emotional when a child died. I could not handle it. I'm asking God why. So I started asking myself, let me maybe adopt a child, maybe to give a child a life. So I discussed it well with Father Answer. I told him, I said, okay, I think that maybe God wants me to take care of the children. I discussed with my father. My father said, I give you a blessing. I think that this house, I want to give it for the orphans. And my father said, you have my blessing. But only one thing I ask you, do never forget the elderly. Do never forget the old people.
The first child who came to live with Mummy Beatrice 10 years ago was a boy from a neighboring house. After feeding and clothing him for a while, the community asked if she would take care of him, and Mum Beatrice didn't give it another thought. Of course, the answer was yes. She registered Look Forward Creativity Centre as an NPO and ensured that all legal documentation was in place to run an orphanage. She then also completed a training course to be a foster parent. Mummy Beatrice was advised not to take in newborns due to the fact that she's never been a mother herself, but she didn't heed the advice.
Guess what? The first child came 4 days. When I sit back, the voice of my mother came, say, be careful. I look at the baby wanted a mother. I said, God, I never been a mother. I was home by my mother. Now today, what am I going to do? The baby was wrapped in the towels. It was a small, tiny baby. I called my neighbor. She said, okay, don't sweat. Sit down. She started giving instruction what to do. I started writing down. And then after that, I said, this, I don't think I'll make it. But deep inside me, I said, God, I'm only an instrument. This child could not die if he came from Themba to South Hills. And if you chooses me to be the mother of this child, let me be the real mother.
And the 4-day-old baby lived. One child after another found a home at Look Forward Creativity Center. And soon space became a problem. The house next door went on sale, and the center was given an opportunity to raise funds to buy the house. It didn't work out, and the sellers withdrew their offer. The oldest child in the center was supposed to move next door to make space for younger children joining the family. Mummy Beatrice became so sick with worry about her son's future that she was admitted to hospital with a severe lung infection.
And I saw another Indian family came. He looked at me and then he moved. I looked, I said, so my situation was bad because I could see the tears in the eyes of a man. I said, so that means my situation is not good. I went in hospital. He said the time he was coming out, he felt it. He said, no, maybe I'm sick because of Joseph, because they wanted to take Joseph away because there was no space for him to go. Or maybe there was something that worried me that I become up to that sickness. Because Joseph, he didn't have anybody. Only person he knew, it was me. One day we went to court, he said, only if you abandon me. But otherwise, you are my mother. I said, I will never abandon you. So now the time that it became difficult, I didn't know where to send him because there was no place for him to go. And that family came, he said, sister, I bought a house for you. I think that you've been worried for Joseph. The time I was coming out of your yard, I saw there was a plaque they put next door that they were selling the house for 500,000. I bought that house for Joseph.
When the oldest son reached the age of 18, he was supposed to leave the house according to the social services system. But once again, the mother of the house couldn't let him go. And so the search for another house started. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson were very involved with the center for a long period of time. And when they died, their children offered a house 2 doors down to the center at the discounted price of 350,000 rand. The boys could move in immediately, and bit by bit, the money was raised until the purchase price was paid, and the boys had their own home. Taking care of 28 children is no mean feat. Their ages range from very small babies to 20 years old. And even though the older siblings help when they see something that needs to be done, most of the day-to-day care falls on the shoulders of the caregivers.
A duty for a caregiver is to look for the children, to guide if maybe they are sick. And even sometimes you can have a time to talk with them. Sometimes the children, they talk to you, they tell you the things that it's happened at school. And then sometimes we have a time to sing, to teach them to sing. I bath them and then I feed them. If maybe there's a baby sick, I take the baby and sleep in my room to take care of it at night.
Feeding the children 3 meals a day is an equally daunting task. Mummy Beatrice feels very strongly that the children's diets should be balanced, the food healthy, and now and then, like many other children, they are spoiled with something sweet. The responsibility of preparing breakfasts, lunch, or lunch boxes, as well as dinner for 28 children and 11 adults, is entrusted to caregiver and cook Bladina Mofokeng.
We started our duty 6 o'clock in the morning before the children went to school. Then the time to knock off, I can't certainly say what time is it because it depends only on us. What time are we people finishing? We always help each other, so at least other aunties can help you where you can't. During the week, we usually give them yogurts, fruits, water, and maybe sandwiches. It only depends because I've got a menu, so I work accordingly to the menu each and every day. So the sweets and nice things usually give them on weekends.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for our food, many, many places, many, many places. Amen, amen. God, please bless our food before we eat. Amen.
Bless us, O Lord.
Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts, which you are about to receive from thy bounty, through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen.
After the prayers, they are asked an age-old question.
If you all wash your hands, you don't know how to sit. You're sick.
And then there was peace. In order to maintain the smooth running of 4 houses, Look Forward Creativity Centre is reliant on the donations, gifts and contributions from individuals and companies. And they've literally had some dark days.
Like when we are not having electricity, okay? And we know that without electricity, a lot of things are shut down. And no hot water for bath, even the tea to warm themselves. So it was very, very, very dark. There are some period what we don't have is the month end, and we don't have money to pay our personnel. And if we don't get something from outside, really, we're stuck.
Even though many people and businesses do open their hearts by contributing to the centre, it's often for specific projects such as solar heating, repairs to the roofs, or other maintenance tasks. Things that can be seen and touched. This often leaves the centre in a predicament with day-to-day needs such as food, electricity, cleaning materials, clothes, and toiletries for the kids.
We are in a situation where we have money there, but that money we cannot use it for this reason, this need that we have now. And the need is urgent. And we have to justify, as you said, that the sponsor want to see how we use the money. So, yeah, well, that is one of the situation where that we are really battling.
During times like these, there is only one way to go. Call on God. Pray for relief. Pray for a miracle. Or make a call to a friend of the centre to assist. The responsibility of raising 28 children often leaves Mummy Beatrice anxious.
One day, there was no milk. I was working with another lady by the name of Violet. She said, "Sister, there's no milk." I looked, I said, no car, no money, no nothing. I said, God, do your will, because for now I don't know what to do. Few minutes, they knock at the door. An Indian man by the name of Clinton, he was also part of the board. He said, sister, I was at Pick and Pay. I left my family. I came to give you name for the baby. I confirm, I said, this was God.
There are many ways to contribute to the welfare of Look Forward Creativity Center. It can be milk, food, electricity, toiletries, funds for education, or the one thing that's been keeping Mommy Beatrice going: prayers.
I mean, prayer is more than welcome. In fact, prayer is one of the most essential ingredients, I believe, for seeing the organization where it is today, from where it was. So yes, anybody and everybody can donate in various different forms. It doesn't necessarily have to be something tangible, but yes, your prayers are more than welcome.
Pray for God that she give her more help us. Because if she got more helpers, she can look for herself.
Have 1 or 2 children is not easy, but with all these children, you must be sure, you must be behind.
It's not always good to call people when you are in need, but you also need to contact people when everything is going well. So I take it as my responsibility to keep contact with people so that they can come to be with us in time of need and also in time of celebrations.
For me, I don't call them the sponsor. For me, I don't call them donors. I teach my children, we call them, they are our blessing. Because through their blessing, each way we can have a food on the table. Through their blessing, each way the children can have their education.
Look Forward Creativity Center is a home. It's a home filled with love, singing, and laughter. Sibling squabbles take place, as it would in any home. Mom waits at the gate for her babies to be dropped off from daycare. She has to admire an impromptu stretching session. She actually needs more than one lap. For her children, she is mother, counselor, teacher, confidant, and friend.
My mom's like a mother, a father, a sister, brother. She's like my everything. She takes care of me. She's always there for me.
My mom is not just a friend. My mom is not just a mom. I can call her a friend. Whenever I need her, she's always there for me. And she tells me every Saturday that we should not be afraid of her. We should make her our friend. And whenever we need something like advice, she's always there for us.
Mom, it's like she's nice, supporting, and always tell us to be like close, not to be scared of her. Like if we have a problem, like we always go to her, like even if it's like at night, anytime, like she's always free to be like talking to each and every one of us.
Well, I feel that my mom, she's the best thing that has ever happened to me so far. And she's practically the only family I have. So she'll always be my mom no matter what.
I'm going in the right path as following my goals. And I know if I struggle, I have mommy next to me to talk to, then she'll show me, she'll help me go follow my dreams.
Everyone involved in the center wants the best for their children's futures. They want to nurture their hopes and dreams. They want them to grow into adults who feel loved and cared for. They want them to be secure and happy.
When we are here, we are regarded as an organization, but when we are here, we are a family. So one of my main wishes, I would like to see these children succeeding in life, because that is main priority that we are trying to impart into these children.
My wish is to to Sister Beatrice to have the courage, the strength to go far.
We are not even in the half of our vision. So we want it to be great, okay? We want it to be something that, we want to leave a legacy in this place.
I believe that, I think, number one, I think a lot of people don't appreciate life and value life. And I believe that, I'd love to see this orphanage have all its desires, a beautiful computer center, a beautiful library, and then all the walls taken off from all the properties and create one big yard and, create a piece of heaven on earth here for these beautiful kids that Sister Beatrice is taking care of.
Mummy Beatrice now has another concern and would dearly like to make a difference to children who were born to mothers serving time in prison.
So for me, I need to fight for that vision that, okay, if a mother was pregnant, have a child in prison, that child need to be outside the prison to have a freedom, to have life, at least that, okay, to have contact with other people of the family. When the mother out of prison, I can hand over the child. So my vision is to make sure that, okay, those children, they get out and have a life. When a mother is out from prison, he can have a child back.
By the grace of God and people's prayers, support and involvement, Look Forward Creativity Center celebrates their 10th anniversary this year. The love in this home is tangible. The children are given a chance to be children again. The friends of the center are a blessing. Their futures are in your hands.
Sweet.